Oh, what is going on, y'all? They are at it again. And as long as they keep doing it, I'll keep addressing it until they stop it. What is it, you may ask? The phantom racism in sports is back. I I I was not going to address this at all. Not even a little bit. Because another content creator, on YouTube to be exact, shout out to KC on his channel Behind the Lines. Go subscribe to his as well as subscribe to us. He did a couple of videos on this. So I figure, hey, he got it covered. No need for me to touch this at all. But y'all, I'm on another social media site and I see this nonsense. For my video viewers, the image I'm referring to is up on the screen. Angel Reese, star player for LSU. Angel Reese, black female, just so I go ahead and give y'all all the context, is doing the John Cena hands in front of the face, you can't see me. On the other side of the picture is a white player from the team they beat, Iowa, doing the same thing. Now, under the white Iowa player, they have quotation queen, competitive, good for the sport, champion in our hearts, basically saying what they think about her doing the you can't see me, playing the game. Angel Reese does it. They have under the picture thug, ghetto, unprofessional, bad for the sport. Now my initial reaction was, oh, this is some of the most overblown, out of context, race baiting bull I've seen since Colin Kaepernick opened his trap hole a few weeks ago. And it's nice to know that I was right because I do due diligence. I don't believe when people throw this race bait out here. That's for the plebeians, the sheep, the hive minds, the black folks that live by the motto, believe all black folks, believe all racism that's accused. No. She was not called a thug. She wasn't called ghetto. Now, there were commentators that called it unprofessional, but guess what? They said the same thing about the Iowa player when she was doing it in the tournament. They called her unprofessional as well, but they seem to have just left that part out. Because you'll have some commentators that believe that, no, we should not have any kind of taunting. To me, I don't give a who's doing it. Taunting is acceptable, especially in basketball. I came up in the and one days where you talk trash and then you embarrass their ass. But now we're living in that triple S, that super sensitive society. All that is viewed under, you can't do that. You'll hurt somebody's feelings. Y'all know Tucker's motto, your feelings. I was so pissed off by seeing that. This race bait, this nothingness. Why are you? There are the powers that be that try so hard on every conceivable level to keep this country divided. And it's obvious to those of us with a modicum of common sense, of rational and reasonable thought. We see it for what it is. It's bull. It's smoke and mirrors. It's watch the left hand so you don't know what the right hand is doing. It's that. This college tournament was phenomenal for the women. Better than the men's. So I do keep a closer eye than most on the game. Angel Reese has been a star all season. But now she's a victim. Now she's so much so a victim that even her post-game interview spewed victimhood. Oh, she was called this, that, and the other. Oh, she's so f it. Y'all listen to what this female had to say.
I was critiqued about who I was. Nobody, I don't, yeah, the narrative, I don't fit the narrative. I don't fit in the box that y'all want me to be in. I'm too hood, I'm too ghetto. Y'all told me that all year. But when other people do it, y'all don't say nothing.
Y'all listen to me closely. Nobody said that shit about this girl. She was being praised as the #1 college female player in the nation. Everybody was on the Angel Reese train. Look, I get it. If you wanted to pull the Michael Jordan, you have to hype yourself up and create an enemy in your head to play better, so be it. But when the game's over, get rid of that phantom ass enemy. That shit is not fucking real. Nobody called her hood, but you know what? I do not fully blame her. I don't, y'all. I do not fully blame her because I blame another black woman for this. Older, probably somebody Angel Reese looks up to. She's a former WNBA player and a current NCAA women's basketball coach. Dawn Staley coaches the South Carolina Gamecocks. You see, when they lost in the Final Four, Dawn Staley and the Gamecocks, she came out in her post-game interview and let all the racism fly, all the victimhood show for a completely innocuous question. For real. Check it out.
Times other coaches, your colleagues, have sitting in that spot and talked about you all being bullies. What's the truth about your team?
The truth about our team, okay? It's a good question, okay? We're not bar fighters. We're not thugs. We're not monkeys. We're not street fighters. This team exemplifies how you need to approach basketball on the court and off the court. And I do think that that's sometimes brought into the game, and it hurts. Okay. And I do think that some of I'm gonna say it because I said I was gonna say it, whether we lost or whether we won. Some of the people in the media, when you're gathering in public, you're saying things about our team, and you're being heard, and it's being brought back to me. Okay? And these are the people that write nationally for our sport. So you can not like our team, okay? You can not like me, but when you say things that you probably should be saying in your home, on the phone, or texting out in public, and you're being heard, and you are a national writer for our sport, it just confirms what we already know. So watch what you say when you're in public and you're talking about my team in particular. Just watch what you say about our team, because it's wrong. You got young lives who are really, if you really knew them, like you really want to know other players that represent this game, you would think differently. So don't judge us by the color of our skin, okay? Judge us by how we approach the game. And you may not like how we play the game, may not like it. That's the way we play. That's the way I coach. I'm not changing. We found success in it, and maybe some days, like today, we end up on the losing side of the stick. But guess what? We live to see another day. We live to see to come back next year and try to do this again. Because I'm not changing. I'm not changing. But I hear you. I hear you. I hear you.
Outside of her opening 5 seconds and towards the end about another 6 seconds, that answer had nothing to do with the fucking question. I looked it up, just like I did for Angel Reese. Nobody said that. Nobody called them monkeys. Nobody used race on them. Now, there were times when other coaches for other teams called her team overly physical. I do believe that I came across an article where one coach said going up against them is the equivalent to having a barroom fight because they are a physical team, which was no different from people going up against the Detroit Pistons in the 80s or the New York Knicks in the 80s. Ask Michael Jordan, he can tell you. The Pistons and the Knicks were physical teams. There was nothing wrong with that at the time. It was part of the game. That's why in her post-game interview when Dawn Staley said, I coach a physical team, but that ain't going to change. Cool, stop right there. That's all you had to say to answer the question that was asked of you. No, you going to full victimhood mode, and you start spewing all this garbage, more divisive rhetoric. Nobody called y'all monkeys. The f*** out of here with all that. It gets on my nerves, y'all, because I see the real racism coming. I got a segment coming up for y'all, and I'm going to point out the true racism and why y'all are missing it. And it's coming from a mighty, powerful place. But the reason you don't see it is because these talking heads, these trained Negroids that are trained at the crack of a whip, at the snap of a finger, they're trained to go, I'm a victim, victimhood. They're so busy barking and BSing about phantom racism that real racism that just came out completely overlooked. And the reason that a lot of the real racism is missed is because the people who got the black sheep, the black culture, the black community, the uninformed, the people that has those folks screaming racism this, system this, systemic racism that, white man this, diversity that, we need to be inclusive this, they're the ones that are really showing y'all how racist they are. You don't see it because the person that's telling y'all racism exists is the same person perpetuating it. While the right hand is feeding you, the left hand is cracking your back. So go ahead, believe all this BS racism because they use sports as the caravan. And I want y'all to understand how stupid this is. They are telling y'all that there is racism in sports that are overwhelmingly made up of African Americans. Oh, I believe there's racism in it against white people because, you don't see many white folks hooping like you used to. But they got y'all buying into it and believing it. They're using sports, the vehicle that's overwhelmingly black, and telling y'all that it's still racist. Go ahead, dummies. Believe it. And when that real racism gets here, when y'all find yourselves back on Massa Plantation and in chains, rights removed, stripped of dignity, don't say Tucker didn't warn you, because I did. Wait. Stop right there. That was a sample. You want the whole entree? Follow us on our podcast, Free Mind Thinkers. You can find us where you pick up any and all your favorite podcasts. That includes Amazon Music, Pandora, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and iHeartRadio. Until next time, y'all take care of yourselves and always dare to think differently.